Hi, I'm Todd and welcome to Acme Machining. Today what I'd like to do is I'd like to check the tailstock on my lathe. And there's a little trick I'm going to show you hereafter, but the first thing I want to do is I want to make a test bar. And what I've got is I've got a 1-inch piece of electrical conduit. Okay, you can make it out of 3/4 inch, 1.5 inch, 1.25 whatever you get your hands on, you can make one out of. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an aluminum slug a little bit bigger. This is 1 inch, so I'm going to 1.125 inches. And I'm going to make a plug for each end on the lathe that I'm going to push in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the outsides to get a concentric size to make sure that it's all the same. And then I'm going to bore out the center. And I don't want to drill it because what do you drill with? You drill with your tailstock. And where is your tailstock if you haven't tested it? Okay, so I'm going to bore them. I'm just going to use a small boring bar, probably only going to go like maybe a 3/8 hole. And the live center or the dead center, whatever you're using, will definitely pick up a 3/8 hole, no problem. So come along, we're going to have some fun today. Okay, I've got you sticking in behind the lathe as best as I can. I don't have a whole lot of room in there. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to turn this bar down approximately 1.5 inches, just so I get a concentric outside diameter. And then I'm going to drill it, and then I'm going to bore into it. And like I said, that gives us a bore and an outside diameter that's going to be concentric to each other. So here we go. Clean it up, that's all I'm doing. First 10,000ths of an inch, I'm not going to be breaking a chip, so. Take a big aluminum spring. Okay, I'm just going to clean up the end of this. And we'll move in here and get the Center drill started. Like I said, I'm not trusting where the drill is, because without a test bar, I can't be 100% sure of where this drill bit is, because I don't know if the tailstock is dead center. So we're just going to open this up a bit, and then we're going to find a small diameter boring bar. And we'll do some boring. Okay, so I've got that drill bit buried in there 2 inches. I'm going to find a boring bar that'll work, and I'll be back. Okay, so I've got that hole drilled. Like I said, I'm going to go in and bore it here in a minute. But I just wanted to make sure that I've got a good reading here. And I'm not worried about what the mic is at. I'm just worried about the final reading. And right there, I'm at 8.5. And right there, I'm at 8.5. So I'm calling that good concentricity across that. So I got to keep on checking with a mirror to see if you guys can see this or not. But this is my smallest boring bar, and I'm going to put it in here, and I'm just going to bore this out. Now I'm only going to get over a little over 1 inch deep. I can go in there yeah, I can go in there just about 1.25 inches, inch and maybe 3/8 if I push it. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this up, and I'm just going to do 1 bore in. So after I part it off, I can continue. So I won't change anything on my my readings. I'll make sure I get everything zeroed out. and we'll get this done. Shift it so I'm going in the right direction. Now I'm not shooting for any particular number. All I want is this has to be concentric through and through with the outside diameter. There's no real accuracy we're worrying about here. The main thing is making sure that everything is concentric with each other. So I bored in the hole, so this wall is concentric with this wall. Okay, now I don't even need to take a measuring. I got a measuring device right here. I know that I can do this, and that's how far I've been able to effectively bore in here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to this here one. See if you guys can see this or not. Keep it in the light. It's basically the same as a parting blade, but it's held in a whole lot better. It's a Sandvik tool. And I'm just going to take and I'm going to bring the diameter down back here a ways, and I'm probably going to move the camera around here so you guys can see. But I only need about a 1/4 inch space here, so I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to stop the camera and move it around here so you guys can see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I just want to find the edge of my I still call it a parting tool, even though it's not. Okay, so I can just feel the end of that, so I'm going to call that 0. And I'm going to 0 my dial indicator. Just going to pan down here so you guys can see this dial indicator. Okay, so I've just zeroed that dial indicator. I'm actually going to make another one of these here shortly. I'm just going to make it the opposite because it's real handy to have. You guys can't see that dial because of the glare, but I just wanted to show you that. That's going to come up in a future video. So I've zeroed that off. So right now the edge of my cutter is in line with the edge of the work. And there's 1, 2, come in 250. I'm going to lock that off. And that's all I need right here is I just need 250 so I can have something to measure on when we do the testing here. So I've got that locked. And I'm just going to come in here. Give things a little drink of WD-40. Now one thing I forgot is I forgot to make sure that my tool is parallel with my work. So I'm going to run that up against the end there. And I'm going to come back here. I'm going to set this again quickly. And I just hold my rule, and when the rule falls away, there's my zero. So it's really easy to do this. There's zero. Set my dial indicator. $100, $200, and $50. There we go. Going to get a measurement here on the inside of that conduit, and I'll be right back. So the inside of that conduit is 0.888, and I'm at 1.188, so I've got about 300 to come off of here. So I'm just going to work away at it slowly. This, I call it a parting blade. It works like a parting blade. It likes to bite. So I'm just going to come in here slowly and keep lots of juice on it. Taking about 60 there so far. So. Got about another 100 to go. 1018. I'm just taking it slow. I don't want to overshoot this. One thou left to go. That should be within a couple now. Right on the money. Look at there. Can you see that? So there we go. Now I'm just going to park that off. So I'll unlock this. I'll roll this back. I'm going to come in with a parting blade that's a little bit thinner than that because I've only got so much to work with. So I got to clean up a few rags on it, but there's our first end. Okay, so I'm just going to continue on. I'm going to do the next one. It's same thing, just continue on. I'll bring you back when I get the two of them, and then I'll clean them up. We'll get this cleaned up, and we will bring you guys back, and we'll set her in the piece of conduit. And then we'll go to the second step of this video. So we'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, this little bit that's left over from your parting tool. Okay, easiest way to get rid of it. Just like that. You got a set of soft jaws in this vise. I got another vise over there. And then I'll just Clean her up with a Noga tool. Not getting over aggressive in this end because that's bored to be concentric with this, so I don't want to screw it up with the tool. So there's one end in, and it is a press fit because I left myself, I want it to have about a 2-3 thou press, and that's what I've got myself. So I'm just going to go over to the press. I'm not going to bore you with pressing that in, but we'll get her done and then we'll get back to the lathe here. We'll take the chuck off the lathe there. As soon as I turn off that last one, I make sure my hand's there, even though I got a board there. I try to catch it. Sometimes you take that last one off and it goes flying. Now, one thing I've done with this, I'll bring you in closer, see if I can show you. Okay, right there next to my thumb, if I can get it to focus again, got a little pinpoint, and I'll also put one right here on the tailstock of the, or not the tailstock, the headstock of the truck. Now the reason I've done that is this isn't no $4,000 super accurate chuck. It's just made in Taiwan. And what I've done is I've run this truck in the 3 different positions. Like I'll try it here, and I'll try it here, and I take a piece of round stock and I'll run a dial indicator on it. And by lining these 2 up, I know that is the best this truck gets to be. So it's a little trick you guys can try. So we're just going to clean this off good. Okay, now this here is a Morse Taper 5. I got a Morse Taper 5 to Morse Taper 3 adapter, and the tailstock takes a Morse Taper 3. Now, yep, you can see this. There's just a little, it looks a little different. This here is a carbide tip one. So if you want to know the difference, this one's got a super hard tip. This here one, I could turn this on the machine if I want to redo the tip, but this one, my machine's not going to do it because that's ground in. So the one with the carbide tip goes in the tailstock. Wipe this off. And it's in there. And here's our new boring bar, or our test bar. Okay. I'm going to have to back you away so we can get this in here. Actually, I'm going to put this in here and I'm going to come back. So, okay, so you can see here the test bar is in there. And we do have, oh, probably 1/8 of an inch proud here of this area. So there's 2 different ways you can do this. You can measure them with a dial indicator and make sure they're right on, or you can take a cut and mic them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a cut and mic them. So we have got lots of room here. So I'm just going to come in here and we're going to take a quick cut. Because the center of this bar is a smaller diameter, I can just wrap it down to the other end. And you guys can't see that very well. .205.5. And this end is about 5 thou over. So that tells me my tailstock is out because I'm cutting between centers. So what it is because this is smaller on this end, it means that it's closer to the cutter. So I have to move my tailstock about 2/1000ths of an inch that way. So I'm going to get set up and then I'll bring you back once I got a dial indicator on here set up. Okay, now I'm going to try to stay out of the camera's way. We've got a lock right here for our tailstock. Has an adjustment screw here, has one on the back side the same place, and it has a lock right here. So I've got this zeroed, and like I said, this here is about 5 thou smaller. So what I want to do is I want to take, the reason it's smaller is because it's closer to the cutter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tailstock this way 2/1000ths of an inch. So just going to loosen that off. Loosen that off. So I've got to pull with this one. It's not going to let me do it with the lever locked, so. And 2 thou is not very much of a movement, so. Sorry my arms are in the way, but hopefully you guys get the idea. Try to zoom in on this here. Well, that's as far as this camera will let me zoom, but I have moved in about 2 thou right now, so I'm going to get set up. I'm going to make another cut. I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'll get right back to you. I'm just going to take another cut here. $2007. $2003. So we're just going to continue. I've got about a 4 thou, so I'm going to move it over a little bit more. I'm just doing it in baby steps. And one thing too, this being a new test bar, it's nice to do these cuts on it. Once I've done these cuts, I can set it without doing any more cutting, because I know that these here are parallel, concentric. Everything is all set up, and then I will just be able to use my the dowel gauge. And I can set the dowel gauge up and measure each one of these. Compare, like, I zero the dowel gauge, and I'll show you guys this when I'm done. Once I get these size equal, I can take this down the other end and measure the other side, and it should stay at 0. Okay, I'm just going to move it down right now just to see where it is. And I run out of room, I can't move that far. So I'll have to set up different, and yeah, I can't reach down the end. So I'm going to do my adjustment here. I'm going to move it another 2 thou, and I'll be back. Okay, we got our adjustments made, so let's take another cut and see where we're at. am just reading a couple tenths under the 12 indicator. See if I can get this to focus for you here. Focus never works when you want it to. But I am, I'm going to say I'm at 11, just plus of 11 and a half. And right there, I'm going to say I'm 2 tenths or under the 12. So I am a couple of tenths off. And until NASA comes knocking at the door, that's good enough for this guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my tool post off. I'm going to set a dial indicator up here so I can show you how we check this without cutting. So we've made our test bar. We've pressed it into, we've made 2 ends for it. We've pressed them in. We've got them setting. We've cut between centers, and we are right now, we're within 2 tenths of a thousandths. So, and that's cutting. So now we're satisfied with our test bar. Okay, we've got our tailstock set. I'm not going to unset it because it's a pain in the butt. You guys will find out when you do it yourself. But I am going to show you a quick and dirty way of doing it also. So I'm going to take my tool post off, get my dial indicator, and I'm going to check here, and I'll bring you back. Okay, so I can't get you a good shot of this dial indicator because the glare just kills it. Excuse my arm. But I've got that set on 0 right now. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to traverse down the table here. Hey, look at there, I didn't take you out of shot. But we are within half a thou there on the dial indicator. So this is how you do it now that your test bar is good. You just put your test bar in, run your dial indicator up against it, check both ends, set your tailstock as necessary, and usually you don't move your tailstock, but there are times when you get messing around with tapers that you have to move your tailstock. So that's why it's adjustable. Otherwise it'd just be set it and forget it. But it's like trimming your mill. You got to knock it out of trim every now and then. So, but I got to change the batteries in this thing, and I will be back. Okay, I told you I was going to show you a cheat. Here it is, folks. The easiest thing to do is we've all taken our ruler and placed it against our work and our cutting bit to see if it's standing up straight. We can do the same thing here. That tells us the height of our tailstock is good. And if that's straight on, and it doesn't look straight on in the camera because of the angle I got you at, but that is straight on, and that's the quick and easy way to see if your tailstock's out. If you just want to get close, So that's how you do it. You just stick it in there and you're done. But if you want to have some fun, make a test bar, have a test bar. Remember, it is a measuring tool after you've made it. So put it away nicely, take care of it. It's not a snipe, it's not a hammer. So thank you all for watching. Please subscribe, share, like, and have a great time in your shop, guys. Bye now.